Okay, this is the engine compartment of a real, documented PHS 65 Pontiac GTO, real GTO. This guy is configured a little differently than the way it left the factory, with a few more options that it didn't be released with whenever it was made in 1965. But it's certainly a heck of a lot more car at this point in time. It has power steering. It has power brakes. You can see a new dual-stage master cylinder on it, new power brake booster, brand new alternator, brand new power steering pump, all new belts, new clutch on the 7-blade fan, all new radiator hoses, high-capacity radiator that came with these guys, new battery, new plug wires. It still has a conventional ignition system in it. Does not have any kind of HEI system or MSD on it. It still has a conventional system, and it works real well. Somehow it managed to start itself for the last 50 years, so it's still doing a pretty good job. It does have, at this point, a tri-power setup on it. Pontiac offered 3 2-barrel carburetors and rated the horsepower at 360, and this guy is configured that way at this point. It has new air cleaner tops on it. It has a complete set of reconditioned carburetors on it. The motor's been out and completely redone internally. Has a little bit more cam in it than it was released with. New Pontiac correct style chrome valve pan covers that it came with. Does not have the original cast iron exhaust manifolds on it. It does have a set of long tube headers on it. You can see that this is a complete fresh build. There's not any time at all on this motor. The headers aren't discolored. Gaskets aren't discolored, and the paint even around the heads where they go on to the headers is not discolored yet. It's still Pontiac turquoise, just the way it was released from the factory. Semi-flat black inner fender panels, just the way it should be. Correct washer bottle, the way they were in '67. How about the original washer bottle auxiliary refill that you got from General Motors back then, still clipped onto the passenger side fender panel inside. Fan shroud, just the way it was released in '67. The core support on this car is totally undisrupted. There is absolutely no deviation on it. There's no bends or twists or anything on it. So the car's never suffered any trauma whatsoever. Absolutely none. Flat black under the hood, just the way it should be. They have the vents in the hood blocked off, which you can remove that for a ram air system if you want, but it also breathes through this foam on the side to give it also additional breathing capability through the air cleaners. Fantastic engine compartment. I can't imagine anything could be done any more precise than this vehicle. Cowl tag still very legible and intact, showing you that it is a real GTO. New steering box on it. Everything on this vehicle appears to have been reconditioned. There's not one little tiny thing that has not been addressed. There's absolutely no leaks whatsoever anywhere evident. And again, you can see all the gaskets are fresh in the vehicle. It's a complete fresh rebuild, a complete total rotisserie restoration. Fantastic engine compartment and an already fantastic vehicle. We're going to go around the outside and show you what we got there. Hi, you're at Hangsters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today, one of my very favorite cars of all time, 65 Pontiac GTO. This car's configured a little bit differently than it was when it was new, but we're going to go over everything on it and show you what a nice vehicle this thing is. Fantastic, fantastic vehicle, and it is a real Pontiac GTO. The paint on this car is absolutely stunning. It's a silver blue color, and it's absolutely like silk everywhere. The fitment is phenomenal. Look at the hood to the cowl, across the front, and the same thing on this side, about 1/8 of an inch precisely the whole way across and up across the cowl area. The scoop is blocked off. It does have a Pontiac ram air system on it, and it is functional if you take this block-out plate off, which they left it on now. Of course, if you're driving in a rain, a heavy storm, like down here in Florida, you might want to leave this in. It still breathes through the foam that surrounds the base of the air cleaner that mounts to the hood, so it's still not starving for air. This, however, does give it a functional ram air effect with cold air and a ram effect, so you pick up about 5-6 horsepower by opening those up. It's already got enough, but there's another 5 or 6 available to you. The chrome around this grille is absolutely fantastic. Argent paint also is just the way it should be. GTO designation in the inset there. And it's metal too instead of plastic. Nice aluminum. The headlight surrounds, the chrome is fabulous. There's not one little tiny piece of patina anywhere on it. Absolutely none. Zip. Same for this side. Absolutely flawless. This is as nice as it gets. Filler panel in the front, just the way it should be. Let's check the bumper fitment. And that baby is right on the money. Pontiac arrow in the front, just the way it should be from 1965. Chrome on the bumper. Luckily, no one's put their feet up on it. The chrome is absolutely flawless across the front end of this guy. Little GUR in the front for the old Pontiac Tiger. Amber parking lights. Chrome along the bottom of the bumper and across the front. There's no chips or marks or dingies. Absolutely nothing. Nothing whatsoever. This is as perfect and I don't use the term perfect very often, this is as perfect a front end of a vehicle that you could ever hope to ever find. I don't see a single deviation across the hood, no dingies, no marks, no scratches, no chips in the paint, no misfitment of the hood, nothing that needs to be addressed or adjusted. And the chrome is just absolutely phenomenal. There's not a single minute thing that you can pick at on the front end of this vehicle. Let's see if we can find something for you on the driver's side. Okay, driver's side. And again, look at this fitment of this. This is totally amazing. Just totally. Fender to the windshield, A-pillar to the door, to the front fender, Pontiac designation, GTO designation on the side. Wheel lip molding, not a single mark on it, absolutely nada. Trim around the front window is absolutely phenomenal. It's stainless steel, and whoever's assembled this car has taken this stainless and polished it to such a luster that it appears to be chrome. It is not chrome, it's stainless, but it's polished to a chrome luster. The correct wiper arms and blades for this guy. The way they would have been in 1965, it still has the windshield piers on it. Tinted glass in the front window. Padded dash, looking down on it, it's new. There's not a single mark or a deviation in it or a crack. The painted part of the dash, which is a blue color, dark, like a medium dark blue, where it transitions to the base of the windshield, is absolutely flawlessly new. There's not a single little piece of dirt or imperfection across the painted area of the dashboard where it transitions to the base of the windshield. This is as nice as it gets. It really is. Again, no patina on this chrome around the wing area, which is real common to find it. Nice, soft, resilient rubber that's just brand new and fresh. Vinyl top. Let's go across here. No bubbling whatsoever. There's absolutely no issues with this vinyl that where it's starting to lift or where there might be some possible rust around the drip rail, which, by the way, is absolutely ding-free, just as nice as can be. Fresh window, whisker, wipes, seals, just as nice as you'd ever want to find. Look at the window fitment to the back window, which, by the way, trim on the back window is flawless too, just as nice as can be. Tinted glass on the side also. New door handles, no marks whatsoever on them. Usually these pieces, these are anodized aluminum on top here, and usually they have some dingy dents in them for one reason or another. I have no idea why, but it's not uncommon to see them with dents. These have absolutely none, zero. Correct style Pontiac mirror for 1965, also on this car. Not only you get one, you get two. There's one on the right-hand side. Wow. Door to the quarter panel, spot on. Rocker panel, no heel marks on it, no dents, no deviation. It's just as nice and clean as you would ever hope to find on a vehicle. Trimmer wheel lip molding around the back, just as sweet and nice as you'd ever want to hope to find. Trim around the back window, polished fine, just like the front one is. It looks like chrome, it isn't, it's stainless, but polished that way. New hat rack, 2 auxiliary speakers in it for the sound system that's in this car. Even all the trim at the base of the rear windshield screen, whatever you want to call it, where it transitions down onto the hatch shelf, is flawless. There's not a mark on it. Tinted glass in the back also. GTO designation on the back. We haven't even gone over the bumper, but look how nice this fits. Tin everywhere. There's no Bondo anywhere on this car. It's just all tin, just the way it should be. Standing here again, you can't even see the doors on this car. It appears to be one solid mass of silver blue down the side of it. There's no seams that I can detect looking at this angle. I don't see the door seam until I stand here, and I really can't see the front one, but I can see the back one. But it fits as precise as you would ever hope to find. Rally 1 wheels, optional wheel on these cars with the correct style centers on them. They appear to be a little bit wider than was released by Pontiac in 1965. I believe those are 6-inch wheels. I'm going to guess these are going to be about 7s or 8s. I really don't know, but they are wider. They have a little bit wider of a trim ring than the original ones did, but it also gives you a nice fatter stance for the tires that are on this, which are a little bit larger than the standard tires for a GTO. Driver's side, there wasn't one little tiny imperfection. No chips in the paint, no marks, no misalignment. Front end, sides, nothing. No issues in the chrome. Let's go on back. Okay, rear section, 65 GTO. Again, look at this. Is that about absolutely gorgeous or what? It's like 1/8 of an inch, the entire perimeter of this rear deck. And again, looking at it, you know, panning across it, there's not a deviation in the paint. There's not a mark, a chip, a dent. Absolutely nothing that you can find as a defect on this vehicle. Absolutely nothing. Pontiac arrow on the back, just the way it should be. The chrome around the tail light, absolutely flawless. Usually these have some patina on them. None. There's absolutely nothing. And look at the fitment from the tail light assembly to this panel, which is impossible to find. These things are really deteriorated through age, and this one is spot on, absolutely new. Transitions over to the right-hand side. Tail light assembly. GTO designation on the right-hand side. Hearse equipped on the left. Bumper fitment. Somebody really spent some serious time on this guy. Everything fits as it should. Look at the fit of this car. Look at this. Is that crazy or what? Pontiac designation on the back. 2 brand new style backup lights in it. Of course, your tail light assemblies are housed in here. You can't see them, but there are red lenses behind these grills on each side. Pontiac, you can see them or not, but there are a set of quad pipes, 2 on each side, that come down at an angle in front of the back bumper edges, rear quarter panels, 2 on each side. Really give it a good look. Splitters on each side of the car for the exhaust. The chrome on the bumper is the same as the front. There's not a single blemish, not an imperfection in it. I mean, wow. This is crazy. This car is just exemplary. Fantastic. There's not a single mark. Nothing so far. I haven't found any misalignment. There's not one little tiny anything that I could even find so far. But we got one more side to go. Let's see what we can show you there. Okay, last side, our passenger side, 65 GTO. See again, GTO designation on the back. Quarter panel. Tin everywhere. Power antenna. How about that? Does have power antenna trim on this side. Same as the other side. Finely polished, no marks, no imperfections. Forgot to mention on the other side, the trim that goes around the base of the vinyl top where it goes onto the painted part of the vehicle is just as flawless as the trim around the windows. Spot on. Could not find it any better. Wheel lip again, not a single deviation, not a single mark. There's no bubbling, no imperfections, no separation whatsoever on the vinyl top itself. Drip rail, nothing. Zip. Tops of the doors and quarter panel. Again, no dents, no imperfections, nothing. And even this anodized aluminum has been polished. It doesn't shine quite like the chrome does because it's aluminum, but it's awful close. Door handle the same way. It's just as nice as you'd ever want to find. Again, look at the window fitment. And no patina whatsoever. Spot on, tinted glass. Look at the door. Look at this. GTO. Again, our right-hand mirror. Okay, trim around the front windows, same as it was on the other side. It cannot be any better fitment or finely polished than it is at this point. The fit is absolutely astronomical. Again, the correct wiper blades and arms. Look at this fitment. Look at this. Door to the front fender. Again, no heel marks on our rocker panel moldings. They're just as nice as could possibly be. GTO emblem on the front fender, just where it should be. I don't feel any dings or marks or anything on that wheel lip molding. Back where we started. I love this car. I don't want to sell it. It's so nice. It's a 65 Pontiac GTO. It's one of my very favorite cars of all time. And this particular example, we just went over it. You watch me do it. I couldn't find a stone chip, a mark, a panel that needed addressed in any way for adjustment, a piece of chrome that needed a little, attention. Fitment-wise, the windows, the top, the panels, the trim, the back end, which is usually misaligned at some point or another. This one is spot on. The front bumper, the rear bumper, the rallies, the white letter tires. There's not one thing on this car that I can draw a negative to. 65 GTOs are very, very difficult to find. This guy is a correct GTO. It's not a made-up Le Mans. It's a real GTO. And it's just as new a one as you're ever going to find. This car is a silver blue car, black vinyl top. It has a darker blue interior in it to contrast it, but it really has a lot of look to it. It's one of the finest cars that we have in the building at this time, and we've got a lot of fine cars, 80 of them to be exact, and this is like one of my very favorites. The fitment of this car, and this is the way we got this car. We didn't address it in any fashion whatsoever. Jeff just wiped it down with a damp towel, and there it is. We just went over it. We didn't adjust anything. We didn't do anything to it. That's the way this car was. It was the way it's presented, and we do have the PMD documentation paperwork for this car. Everything is fresh. It's available here at Hanksters. We encourage everyone to come down and take a look at it. If you can't, that's why we're doing this video. And Devin's giving you about 90 still photos, high resolution, for you to go ahead and look through to look at this car in minute little tiny sections that you can see and blow up so that you can see exactly what you're buying. And if you have any additional questions or require any additional photos or anything, feel free to contact us. We'll be more than happy to get them for you. Again, we encourage everyone to come down and look at them, but if you can't, that's why we're doing these videos. And there is an absolute diamond of a 65 Pontiac GTO. Take a look at it. Hanksters, Daytona Beach. Okay, interior, one of my favorite cars, 65 Pontiac GTO. It's like a blue jean blue, like a medium blue color. It's not real dark, but it's not real light either. The headliner itself is a light blue, though. Kind of matches the outside, nice and tight. Sun visors, the stitching isn't coming loose or anything. It's really nice and tight the way they are. Day-night mirror, there's no fade whatsoever on the mirror part, and it has a stainless backing to it. Again, the dashboard pad, you can see through the windshield, that I mentioned. It's just as nice and perfect and clear as you could ever hope to find. Pontiac GTO grab rail on the right-hand side, which you definitely need. The lumber on the dashboard itself and on the steering wheel is just as nice and clean as can be. It looks like the original wood that was on it. The gauge cluster is nice and clean and clear. And this car does have factory full instrumentation. It does have a quadrant of gauges. It also has a speedometer and a tachometer in it. It has a horn. The chrome on this dashboard is just exemplary. It cannot be any cleaner or any nicer than it is, nor the knobs the same way. They're just like the day they were made. AM Pontiac radio, I don't know if it works yet. Devin and I will find out when we do our drive here. The paint on the dashboard the rest of the way, the top part and the bottom is blue jean blue, the way it's supposed to be. The seats have been completely redone in this vehicle with the Pontiac Arrow designation on them. Everything is just so. Everything is just the way it's supposed to be. The stainless accents on the sides of the seats are just as nice and clean as it ever be. Trash tray armrests in the back, power windows in the back, power windows in the front, power windows in this car. How about that? Dome light that's functioning. Back seat that does have seat belts also. How about that? Seat belts in the rear. The back seat is flawless. There's not a single thing that you can say about the interior of this car other than it looks like the day it left the factory. Loop pile carpeting, just the way it should be. You can see the console light is also working for the rear passengers, just like the dome light is. Seat belts in the front. An absolute flawless, perfectly chromed console in this vehicle. Usually these things have some patina all over the place in them, just from moisture laying through the years and whatever. But it does have a glove box on it that's functional. One also in the dashboard. Tri-spoke Pontiac wheel, just the way it should be. And the chrome on it is flawless. It is absolutely as it left the factory. Rocker seals are absolutely the way they were when they were new. GM designation on them. Correct style molded armrests in the front. GTO designation on the side panels, on your door panels. Door handles themselves just as nice and chrome and fresh as you would ever hope to find. Trim around your clutch, brake, gas, and parking brake pedals, all just as new as can possibly be. All new, nice, soft, resilient rubbers all through the doors and around your windows. Interior of this car is absolutely as new as you would ever hope to find. And here's the key to the whole operation on this guy. You got a tri-power and a 3-pedal car. We got a Hurst tri-power car. How much better does it get than that in the 65 Pontiac GTO? This thing's really exciting. I'm getting all worked up over this car. Great color combination. It's a great option combination. It does have a power seat, has power windows, power steering, power brakes, power antenna for your AM radio. And it's a 4-speed tri-power car. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. This car is as new in the inside as it is on the outside, and we didn't find a single thing on the outside, nor did we on the inside. Also has the correct Pontiac PMD floor mats in the front. Doesn't have them in the back, but it has them in the front. This thing is new from beginning to end. It's a car that if you're in the market for a GTO and you want the very best of the best, this is a guy that you better take a look at. It's here at Hangsters in Daytona Beach. We're going to go for a ride. Okay, we're in my very, very favorite guy for today. 65 Pontiac GTO. Horn. Horn works. Let's see, wipers. Wipers work. Okay. Fuel gauge is showing about a quarter of a tank. Let's see, temp is just starting to come up. Oil pressure's high, just the way it should be. Not pegged, but showing maybe about 60 pounds, 50 pounds oil pressure. Let's try the radio. What's the chances of this working? None. Original radio doesn't work. Let's see what else we got. Turn signal left. Turn signal left functioning. You see the light flashing. Okay, turn signal right. Also flashing for the right turn signal, the way it should be. What else we got? Power windows. Okay, driver's side power window. Devin's window, I can see it from here. You can hear it. That guy. And that guy. Devin's side. All 4 windows work, just like they should. Traffic, we're going to have to sit here for a second and wait, but we'll be going shortly. Nice car. I love these things. 65 GTO. Alright, we're just trying our little GTO out here. See how straight it goes here. When we get up over this grade, everything always wants to go to the left here. I don't care what the vehicle it is. It goes to the left until this road straightens out a little bit. Okay, here. Let's try it now. No hands, down the road. Well, down the road. Okay, let's try no hands, brakes. Nice as can be. Speedometer working like it should. Temperature coming up. You can see the temps coming up where it should be. About 100 and what we up? 110, 120, something like that now. 150 mile an hour. Nice car. Nice tight. A little smooth. Doesn't wander. Nice positive steering. Very positive steering. Must be some kind of high resolution steering box that they put on here when they replaced it. Again, the turn signal's working like they should. This little guy just needs taking out and run for a while. How much nicer does it get than that? Straight down the road, aiming straight. Look. Still not touching the steering wheel. And it's starting to go off kilter a little bit here. Real nice tight car. You can feel the car. It doesn't wander. It's nice and tight. There's no vibrations, no shakes, no shimmies, nothing. Real positive steering. The brake system works really well. This to the front. Horn works. I don't think there's anything on this that doesn't work other than the radio. And who cares whenever you can listen to a tri-power GTO? Well, we're underneath our 1965 Pontiac GTO, real GTO. Everything on this car has been completely refurbished. Everything is addressed from beginning to end. Polyurethane bushings and mounts for the front sway bar, heavy-duty sway bar. Your sway bar ends are the same way. New steering box, new pitman arm, new idler arm, new shocks, new calipers, new rotors, new associated hardware, new gear reduction starter, long tube ceramic coated headers, 3-inch collectors. The front fender pan's just as nice as you'd ever want to find. One little tiny jack mark here. Someone put a jack here to hold it up and put a little tiny bit of a ding in this one inner fender panel that can just be straightened out with a pair of pliers. It's certainly nothing to concern anyone about. Stainless steel brake line setting toward the rear. Stainless steel fuel line also. How about that? Functional parking brake, all new cables on it. It has an M22 style transmission in it. It is a heavy-duty 4-speed transmission, new clutch and pressure plate. You can see there's no leaks whatsoever on the engine itself. Everything was out and freshly redone, the same as the transmission. Nothing on the tail shaft, no leaks whatsoever. The floor pans themselves are the original floor pans, not replaced, and they absolutely are like new. I don't see a single mark anywhere on it. The structural braces underneath them aren't dented up from anyone putting jack stands or anything on them through the years. Also, I don't see anything at all in this car that's out of place. Not a single thing. It has, I'm going to call them 2 and, I don't know, they might be 2.5, but I'm going to call them 2 1/4 primary pipes going into the 2 Flowmaster mufflers. Brand new balanced drive shaft in it, new universal in the front, new universal in the back. The C-channel frames that go onto both square subframes in the front. Well, it's actually a full frame, full perimeter frame on these vehicles, but it's full box in the front and full box in the rear with a C-channel connecting the two of them together. No deterioration whatsoever through the years, absolutely none. There's no rust, no scale. Excellent undercarriage on this vehicle so far. Floor pans in the back the same as they were in the front, totally undisrupted. Still the original plugs in them just the way they would have been from the factory. Your swing arms in the back, there are not any marks whatsoever on them. A couple jack marks on this square part of the frame toward the rear here, just from a jack being used through the years, just normal service. It certainly didn't hurt the thing structurally at all. Discs in the front, fin drums in the rear, heavy-duty drum brakes in the rear of this guy too. And again, your 2 swing arms, just as nice as can be, a 4-link suspension in the back. F41 style sway bar that's on the back of this guy too. I said there was new shocks in the front. There are definitely new shocks also in the back of this guy. It's as nice as you're going to ever find. And check this out, 12-bolt heavy-duty rear end of this thing. 12-bolt heavy-duty. Floor pans in the back, again original, totally undisrupted. Drop downs in the quarters, still have the original plugs in them. There's absolutely no deterioration whatsoever to them. New gas tank installed. Somebody put a brand new tank in this guy. I can't tell if it's stainless or if it's just mild steel, but it is brand new. I could almost call it stainless. It kind of looks like stainless steel to me. But it is a new tank. 2 1/4 inch, I think those are 2.5, I'm going to call these 2 1/4 pipes transitioning out of the Flowmasters and going into your double splitters on each side. So you got 4 pipes coming out the back of this guy. The piece of framework that goes across has no pull marks or dents or anything in it whatsoever, where it connects the 2 back short sections of C-channel to the square box frame in it. It's just as nice a vehicle underneath that you could ever hope to find. The strapping is also new for the gas tank. No dents or marks whatsoever on the C-channel subframes in the back. The correct mounting rubber grommet type mounts for the tailpipes still correct from Pontiac, just the way they should be. A whole new round of rubber, both front and back on this car. Usually I neglect to mention that, the tires, whenever I'm under here taking a look at it, but just looking at these, it's all fresh front and back. It's got some huge rubber on this car. You can see there's no leak whatsoever in the driveline of this vehicle, nothing leaking whatsoever. A nice substantial exhaust system on it. The floor pans aren't undercoated or sound deadened or anything. They're the original tin type. And there's no marks on them, no rust, no deterioration whatsoever. You can see the stainless lines front to rear. I can't see a single thing on this vehicle anywhere that I can call negative to. I mean, someone has completely rebuilt this vehicle from beginning to end. New steering boxes, added the F41 style sway bar to the rear, new gas tank, new everything. Anything that would be a wear item or a concern to anyone has been replaced on this vehicle. It's done to the nth degree. It's just like one of my very favorite cars of all time, 65 GTO, and this is just an exemplary GTO 65. You got to take a look at it. Hanksters, Daytona Beach.